Good morning, everybody. What is up? Welcome back to another edition of Brewed Bets, where the coffee is strong, the bets are stronger. We have missed y'all. We have been on a little bit of a sabbatical, but we're back. We hope that you didn't miss us too badly. I don't know if we've been winning anybody a whole lot of money this year. We were on a positive direction. But JT is the keeper of that, which is, of course, the laugh you heard. As always, I'm joined by JT, and I'm your host, BJ. Shout out to the sponsors real quick. Big Ugly's doing some great things. Ladies, I know we got some ladies that listen to this. They just rolled out all their pumpkin spice stuff, their pumpkin flavored coffee, their pumpkin scented scarves, all the pumpkin stuff. All that you need is at Pale Horse Coffee. Make sure you shop online, though. Use our promo code Brewed Bets. Save 10% off that order. That'll help you out there. JT, it's been about 2 weeks, I feel, since we've done one of these. Where are we standing, and how the heck are you?
I'm doing good. It was a nice week off. Our standings aren't that great. I don't have the graphic updated, but even though we took a week off, I just did not keep up with updating the records. Yeah. But I have it here. I'm 25, 27, and 2, so I'm still sticking right around 500. I lost the last time we did this. I was 5 and 6 and lost 1.5 units. So I'm currently sitting down 3 units on the year. And
before this takes a negative turn by you getting to my picks, because I feel like that the positivity is about to go out the door. Big news in your world: your coffee shop opened up. Give a little plug for that.
Yeah, so we're not officially opened up until next week, but we had some family and friends down for a little pre-opening just for them to get to try all the stuff. Great reviews so far. It is named Cafetano. It is down in the Strip District in Pittsburgh for anybody around my area. Go check us out, corner of 16th Street and Penn Avenue, right at the beginning of the Strip. It's Honduran coffee. So we have some people that are originally from Honduras that have moved here, and they bring a great Latin vibe to it, a little bit of an Italian vibe too. One of the owners is half Italian, so some of the food is from that culture as well. So you got a lot going on there, and it's fun. I'll have to, once we get a bag of beans packaged up, I'll have to send it down your way to try out.
I can't wait. And for those of us that aren't in the area, we'll keep you posted. I'm sure there's going to be a website and some distribution coming along too. But man, super exciting stuff. I know how much work's been going on in the background. We didn't talk about it too much, but there it is. It's about to go live, friends and family. All right, now for the bad news. We have to talk about my standings. So where are we at?
So last week you threw out, or well, 2 weeks ago when we last did this, you threw out a bunch of teasers. And a couple came close to winning, but teasers are tough. You got all those games, just one can trip you up. So you lost 2 more units to put you at down 8 units on the year.
Oh, yeah.
So as a group, we are down 11 units.
So you're telling me that 77% little production error. I got a happy trigger. 77% of our losses are on me. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't going to say it, so you said it, so I'll go with it. But both of us are struggling. We're going to turn it around here. There's still a lot of football left to be played, and then we have some other things going on. Baseball, I know. Go check out the website because there's some great new baseball articles. New writer there bringing some great stuff. I think he was
8-1. Joey.
8-1 so far in the playoff bets. So he is bringing up.
There's only been what, like 3 games, 3 or 4 games.
I think 3. I think tonight is the 3rd game. Okay. There's been 4 games. 4 games,
right? Because Friday night's games.
Yes. So
he's 8-1. My gosh, that's wow.
And some of those are juiced.
Get him in here to pad our stats.
Yeah, exactly. We need him to bring us back into the positive spot. So
I did notice that he is punishing Vegas on the juice. Mm-hmm. He absolutely is. We'll have to get 757 Joey on here, but until then, make sure you go check out his articles on sportshiftmedia.com. It's the only one thing left to do. We've caught up. We've let y'all know a little bit about what we've been up to in the background since you haven't seen us. And Brandon can't pick worth a damn. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the picks. I'm going to let JT go first. That way, the one who's doing good things can be heard. And when it's my turn, people can just stop listening and we'll be good. We'll keep y'all posted on if I recover this season. But for now, here's JT with some winning picks.
I mean, you saw from my numbers that I gave out too. I'm not winning a whole lot of money. I'm just kind of treading water there. I'm just
77%, JT. I'm 77% of our defeats.
But I guess I'll get started with the big game. I believe we might both have a pick in this game. It's one of the biggest college games of the weekend. The Red River rivalry. It is not the shootout anymore. We do not condone shootouts here in America.
Or in Texas.
But Oklahoma, Texas, Spencer Rattler, he hasn't looked the greatest for Oklahoma. Going up against Texas, who put up a ton of points on Texas Tech a few weeks ago. I don't know what did they do last week? Who'd they play? TCU.
Who's that? Oklahoma?
Texas. Who'd Texas play?
Texas, TCU, I believe.
So they're on a little bit of a winning streak here. I think both of these teams their offenses are a little phony. Oklahoma, we've seen the struggles with them. I think they're still going to score some points, but they're more of a methodical offense this year that they're going to dink and dunk you down the field instead of hit those explosive plays. And Texas wants to run the ball with Bijan Robinson. They don't really want to put the ball in their quarterback's hand too much. They want to try to run some clock and bleed it and run as few possessions as possible. So for that reason, this total is a little high for me. I'm going under the 63.5. I think this game is played more in the 20s than in the 30s. So I'll take the under.
Yeah, I like that. My pick kind of, I won't say conflicts with that, but we did bet on the same game. We just don't have the same bet. So we'll get into that when it's my turn. Hit us with another one. Hit us with the Georgia game.
So I'm going Georgia's the best team in the country, in my opinion. I think they are better than Alabama. I think the quarterback is probably the only position that I would definitely take Alabama right now. Other than that, I think Georgia's defense is amazing, especially that secondary. So they are playing in the Deep South's oldest rivalry, going up against Auburn this week. I just can't trust Bo Nix going up against that defense. Bo Nix he's been impressive this year. Not the
big
old
game handicapped, unfortunately.
Not the old Bo Nix that we've seen, but I still think he has a few mistakes in him going up against this type of team. They're going to make him run all over the place. I'm going to actually take the Georgia in the first half. It's a weird total, a weird spread for the whole game, 15.5. It's outside of football number. I stayed away from it, but I think Georgia gets on them early and is up by double digits at halftime.
Okay.
So then I'll keep going. My next college pick is TCU, Texas Tech, going over 61.5 here. These are two secondaries that are pretty miserable. TCU gives up the most explosive plays in the country, and I just saw Texas Tech in Morgantown last week. And despite West Virginia's offense being terrible, they still allowed Jarrett Deggy to make some plays down the field. I think these teams kind of go up and down on each other. Max Duggan is great in the red zone. He will convert. They actually scored at least a touchdown or a field goal every single time they've entered the red zone this year. Not too many teams can say that. So I think this game gets into the 30s, both teams back and forth. So over 61.5 is the pick. And then I'll finish up the college picks with a twofer. I'm going Kentucky -1.5 in the first half and Kentucky -3 for the game. LSU is falling apart. I said at the beginning of the year that I don't think Ed Orgeron makes it out of this season as the head coach of the LSU Tigers. They lost to Auburn last week. They've got a few players out, including Derek Stingley, who will be a top 5 pick in the NFL this year. The offense for LSU has not got past 84 yards rushing in any game this year through 5 weeks. That is bad. Kentucky looks good. Will Levis is a decent quarterback, able to put up some points. So I think Kentucky rolls and gets to 6-0, which who would have thought at this point in the season, we would be talking about the Kentucky Wildcats at 6-0. But those are my four college picks. I'll let you get some picks out here, and then I'll jump back into the NFL a little later on.
Okay, so just real quick, when did Kentucky first alert you? Because for me, it was the same as the people who haven't been paying attention to Kentucky that much when they went and basically smacked around Florida.
Mm-hmm. That was last week, right? They beat them last week.
Correct. Yeah, that is when my eyes were first open to Kentucky. When were your eyes open?
So I think I'm trying to pull up the schedule here quick, because it was actually week 2. I started keeping an eye on them because at the beginning of the season, I thought a lot higher of Missouri than a lot of people. I thought they were going to be a feisty team this year. And Kentucky just came in and they said, we're going to just go up and down the field on your defense, put up 35 points. They gave up 28, but I mean, it was that type of game where kind of both teams were scoring. That's where I first noticed them. And and last week was very impressive. It was at Kentucky, correct? First time they've beat Florida at Kentucky in a long time.
Yeah.
So both those games really stood out to me.
A good Florida team too. Florida's got a good team this year.
Yeah, Florida's very good. And then I'm looking down at the schedule outside of Georgia, which is next week. They've got a pretty easy schedule. That's going to be a good one. But I could see this as being a 10-2, 11-1 football team.
Yeah. I mean, I think we agree that next week is a battle for the second playoff spot, right? If Kentucky goes in and beats Georgia, they're probably going to win out and face Alabama in the SEC championship. And I think we can all agree that the runner-up in the SEC championship is also getting a playoff bid. The top echelon of college football is just not as parodied as it usually is, right? Mm-hmm. It's Georgia, Alabama, and really everybody else. Iowa State or Penn State is trying to kind of sneak in there a little bit.
That's a big game this week. I don't think either of us have a pick in this game, but Penn State, Iowa, that's going to be a lot of fun.
And a lot of people are saying that Penn State's trending upward while Iowa's trending downward. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's definitely 2 big games coming up that are going to be important to watch for the playoff race. But we are here to talk gambling. We will do some more college football talk the other time. My bets this week, I'm feeling kind of confident. I'm taking some outliers, and I just kind of want to do something to make a game I wouldn't normally watch interesting. And I'm going to start with the one that no one's going to find interesting, and that is the Jets and the Falcons in London. What a dumpster fire we're sending over there. I mean,
it's been a dumpster fire ever. We've never sent a good game over there.
No, and this might actually be why the rest of the world hates us. Like, not only are we going to enforce our sport onto your country, we're going to do it in one of the most famous venues in your country, and then we're just going to send crap games to you. How's that sound?
I know that they send some of the soccer teams from the Premier League over here to play. They play at a few stadiums like once or twice a year, and they'll send over like Chelsea to play against one of the MLS teams. And it's like, oh, so you send your best teams over and we are sending you the Jets and the Falcons.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But if y'all heard me moaning, I'm sorry. I'm drinking the new Pale Horse Fall Pumpkin Coffee, and it's fantastic. I'm sorry. All right, big sponsor plug right there. So one advantage I think the Jets are going to have in this game should be the fact that they faced Tennessee's offense last week, right? And they slowed down Derrick Henry, which I know a lot of people could say that means something different this year. I don't really think it's necessarily Derrick Henry's got too much wear on his tires. I think that the game plan is simple. Plug the hole. He can't run through 5 people, right? Mm-hmm. But now the Jets defense gets Arthur Smith's offense in Atlanta. I know Henry eventually ended up with a big stat line, but early in that game, he wasn't really impressive, and the Jets really did a good job of minimizing his production. I think they find a second win here in this game, or at very least stay within the line. Because the Falcons' inability to play defense they really can't defend anybody. So I think the Jets can stay in this game. I think this might be a big confidence-building game for Zach Wilson. Give me the Jets +3. We're going to move over to a division game in my division, Washington football fan here, but I'm actually going to go against the two teams I hate the most. I'm looking at the Giants and Dallas, and I'm actually going to take the over here, JT, and it's 52. And I know that that's a scary number for an NFC East battle, but oh no. But I'm sorry, I thought I X'd out of the whole thing. I thought it just ended the video. That's my bad there, guys. But I know the number here is large, but Danny Dimes, that's my boy, he's capable of torching teams with his legs just like he did against Washington. And guess what? He's the league-leading touchdown scorer, right? Or the league-leading touchdown scorer, Sam Darnold, just lit up Dallas. Rewatched it, right? Kenny Golladay is starting to get going, and Jones should be forced to throw the ball a ton. I'm taking this because I think we're going to backdoor this bet. I think that the Cowboys are going to jump out to a lead, and I think they're going to start pounding the ball with Zeke, and I think that there's going to be a lot of long throws, a lot of deep balls, and I think that we can see something like 34-25 and hit that over 52. I really do think it's something we could see. My next bet here, I'm going Red River Rivalry as well. I'm not going with the over-under. I'm actually going to go Oklahoma minus 3.5. All eyes are going to be on Spencer Rattler. I'm reading notes here. This weekend during the Red River Rivalry, and he's up to the task, in my opinion. He's predicted to be a top pick in next year's NFL draft. He's coming off a game against Kansas State, even though Oklahoma struggled, where he completed 88% of his passes. He's clicking with the offense at the right time, and this is a big game. And that's kind of where we got introduced to Spencer Rattler last year, was in the Red River Rivalry in the big game. They've won 5 of the last 6 against Texas, Oklahoma has. And even though the Longhorns have rotated between dominant offensive and defensive battles with Oklahoma, it seems like either Texas's offense really shows up or Texas's defense really shows up, but they can never really put it together in this game. And because of that, I'm going to go with Oklahoma to get a touchdown or maybe a field goal when they're already up 4 late, and just put this game away by a touchdown, maybe even more. So I'm going Oklahoma minus 3.5. And then my last bet, if I could figure out my windows here, enough of this pale horse coffee. LSU, Kentucky. It's at Kentucky. I'm taking Kentucky minus 3.5. You talked about it. LSU is not just really having a rough patch. They're having a rough year. They enter this contest allowing 119 yards per game, and Kentucky is set up to take well advantage of that with Chris Rodriguez. He's one of the nation's best on the ground. They average 191 yards of rushing per game. Kentucky does. So I'm looking to Kentucky to continue, just like you said. I think they'll improve to being 6-0 on the season, and I think they do that running away. So yeah, give me Kentucky minus 3.5, and hopefully it's 2-4 no picks right there for you guys.
I like those picks. I am with you on the Oklahoma side as well. I'll probably end up betting that. Just didn't end up on my locks. But, we all know from previous weeks that I throw a ton of games in, so these are my locks, but I'm going to be right there with you on that. And then that Giants-Dallas game, you have over 52. I actually, in my NFL picks, I have Cowboys minus 7, and I think it goes exactly how you said it did. I think that 34-25 range where the Giants score late to kind of make this look a little closer than it is. But I think the Cowboys, they have the 4th ranked offense in the league. They've looked good this year. Dak's back. You've got a ton of weapons. Zeke looks like the old Zeke, and I think he
finally fantasy owners, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's been waiting for that. He said he lost like 10 pounds or so in the offseason. So he's back, and they got that. What's the backup's running back's name?
Pollard.
Pollock. Yeah,
is it Pollock? I think it's Pollock. Tony Pollard?
Tony Pollard. I think it's Pollard.
Okay.
But yeah, they both look good. So I think the Cowboys roll in this one and I think they could get to 40 points again, like they did 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And they're going to win by at least a touchdown. I think the Giants looked good last week, and that helped bring this back to a touchdown. I think it would have been 8 or 9 points if they hadn't scored as much. But yeah, give me the Cowboys. And then I'll save my terrible parlay for last. So the second pick is Lions-Vikings under 49.5. The Vikings have a very bad offensive line. Kirk Cousins was under pressure all week last week, getting attacked by the Browns. They can't really run the ball either because of that offensive line. Only scored 7 points. The Lions aren't great, but the one thing they're going to do is they're going to show up and be feisty every single week. Dan Campbell's the head coach there. No matter what, he's going to have them ready to play. So I think the Lions are able to shut down the Vikings a little bit and are just able to keep this like a 3 to 7 point game in like the 17 to 20 range. So for that reason, under 49.5, I think it's way too high.
You like the Vikings to win?
You
think they have enough?
I think they do have enough talent to end up winning this game, but I think this game comes down to one of the last possessions. I think it's a 3 or 4 point game late, but then
someone's got an opportunity.
Yeah, I think the Lions will have the opportunity, but I don't trust Jared Goff and this offense. So I could see a turnover on the last possession to kind of give the Vikings the win. So that's kind of my feel on how this game plays out. We'll see how accurate that is. And then the last one is going to be a 2-game parlay. I scrolled down through every game this week, and I saw 2 games that stood out for having totals under 40. We had the Broncos, Steelers, and the Patriots and Texans, both at 39.5. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. How are these totals so low? And then I looked into it, and I'm like, it makes a lot of sense. The Patriots and Texans they've actually stuck in some games because of their defense. Their defense has one of the best passing defenses in the league. They've been able to shut some people down. Mac Jones has shown the past couple weeks that he is a rookie. And I think that could continue. He's going to struggle to find open receivers in this game, but the Texans aren't going to blow anyone away. Patriots aren't going to blow anyone away. So I think this game is going to be ugly. Some team could possibly be within single digit. It could stay in single digits for their points scored. And then the other game, Broncos and Steelers. My Steelers have looked bad this year. Ben Roethlisberger is struggling. I wouldn't mind making a switch to one of the backups. Even despite Mason Rudolph and who's our Dwayne Haskins, neither of them are really great NFL quarterbacks either, but they can at least move and throw the ball over the middle of the field. Ben is really just trying to hit that deep ball or dunk it off to Najee Harris. Not really much of a game plan there. Going up against the Broncos, who have a pretty good defense, they're going to shut that Steelers offense down, take away what they want to do. And then you got Teddy Bridgewater. He's got that Broncos offense rolling, but I just don't know how he's going to fare against the Steelers defense with TJ Watt back in the lineup. I think they can shut them down. So both those games under 39.5. I mean, Vegas put that total there for a reason. They do not see a lot of points being scored in either of these games, and parlaying them together gives you a plus 236 odds. So you're winning over 2 units if these 2 games hit. So I like that. It's going to be one of those games that you hold your nose and just sweat out. If 2 teams score back-to-back touchdowns here, you're going to be very scared, but I still like it.
Yeah, I mean, look, those 2 games are probably going to be very, very sloppy. Bill Belichick game planning for Tyrod Taylor. Is Tyrod Taylor back off injury? Did he get injured?
Wait, for who?
For Houston.
Texans. He did get hurt. It was what was that dude's name? Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Well, whatever it is, Bill Belichick's going to be able to game plan for it. I don't think they've got the team to shut anybody out this year. I think that the Texans still get theirs, but I believe I took the Texans getting like 16.5 points. I have a 15-game parlay or tease going on for those of you that we're not going to really mention it because it would take way too much time. But yeah, just verifying here, I do have the Houston Texans getting 16.5 points. I don't think New England is a 2-touchdown and a field goal favorite at all.
We won't mention it on here, but go follow our social media accounts at Sports Shift Media everywhere, Instagram, Twitter. Well, we'll post that on Sunday for everyone to see. Just to if you want to get on in the action, it's all but one game. So
yeah, the odds are 4,004 You get plus 4,004. So I have a small 10-unit bet that would net me 451 units if I win. So it's worth a shot. They all make sense. But hey, I think we've got some strong picks here. It's never good betting for bad football. It's always more fun when you can bet exciting. But when the stats are there and the product on the field has spoken for itself, I don't see this being a blowout any which way for either one of these teams. And I do think it's down and ugly. So good bets there. JT, go with his gut, man. Right now, I'm struggling, but hopefully we're getting back on the train. One more shout out to the sponsor, Pale Horse Coffee. They have got me wired this morning with this new pumpkin stuff. I'm telling you, I'm not typically big into the pumpkin stuff with my coffee, but it's the sponsor. We got to try it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it's good. I've got my BWB coming out. It's really, really good. I might start wearing boots and leggings. I don't know, but check them out.
You got some Ugg boots in the closet?
I might. Boost with the fur, baby. But hey, check out Pale Horse Coffee. Use promo code Brewed Bets, 10% off your order. That's going to do it for us. JT, hit us with the reminders.
Just remember to gamble responsibly. If you need any help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And go check us out, like we said, on all our social media platforms. But we'll have a lot more stuff coming out here in the next few weeks. So we'll catch you up next week with hopefully we have a bunch of winners to talk about next time.
That's it. Let's make some money this weekend, guys. We appreciate spending our Saturday mornings with you. Hope that y'all do as well. Happy betting. For JT, I'm BJ. We'll see y'all next week.